Well, I just can't believe it. We have reached episode 1400, 1400. That's a milestone. You would have told me 5 years ago, J Rod, you would not have made it this far. Well, I just did. To celebrate this milestone, I thought, you know what? Let's do something really interesting. If you guys are big fans of the Joshi Wrestling, then you guys are in the right channel after all. We're going to be doing two reviews. The first one is from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling with Live Tour 2024 Spring. Now, nothing too specifics on this particular event, but there are some pretty good matches that you're definitely going to enjoy. And on the record, Miyu Yamashita is not involved. She is still here in the United States, and she won't be leaving until June. However, our next review is this one I think many of you might have been waiting for. We're talking about, of course, Stardom with the All Star Queendom. This one features a lot of title matches: the Future Belt, the High Speed, the Goddesses, the IWGP, the Wonder, and of course the Red Belt. That is something we are going to be seeing, and of course some every special day matches with the return of Konami. Mina Shirakawa takes on Natsuko Tora, and various other things as well. And then, of course, we cap it up with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and of course, some developments that I believe it's happening in the world of pro wrestling we definitely are going to be talking about. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do real-timing news updates to keep you guys updated on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool content on this channel as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions set aside, as I said earlier, we just reached episode 1400. This is as far as we go, and it's been almost 5 years since we started this. And I'll give a little touchy speech about this at the end of this episode. But for right now, I believe it's time to get the show on the road. And I believe if you guys are here for the Joshi Wrestling stuff, you guys are in the right channel. So right now, let's begin with, of course, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Okay, our very first review, and this is from the Joshi promotion, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. This is their much recent show that just took place this past Saturday on the 27th. Now, for the record, I want to make this clear. Miyu Yamashita is not present in this event. She's still here in the States. She won't be returning back to Japan until June. So, as if you guys are aware of that, then you guys are in good luck. So, let's get the show on the road. Now, it opened up, of course, with the Up Up Girls doing a one-song performance. We see Uda, Shino, Raku, and of course Miyu Watanabe. Of course, many of you probably wonder what happened to Hikari. Well, we do know she's been suspended due to personal reasons. Recently, we just learned that she's doing okay. It appears that she's been learning some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or some sort of thing. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just happy to hear that she's okay, and I'm sure for those who are Hikari Noah fans are happy too. But we still don't know when, and no telling she'll be back. But right now, let's start with our very first match. We have singles action. We have, of course, the rookie based out of Australia, Kita Summer. She takes on Mahito Kiru. Now, of course, when it comes to Mahito Kiru, you know she's going to apologize when she does her thing. But of course, that's what she does. But much like we've seen with rookies anywhere in the promotions in Japan, they put you in a Boston Crab, and that's exactly what Kiru did. She put Kira in the Boston Crab, and she had no choice but to tap. Now, our next match, we have a bit of a three-way match. We have Nanazi versus Nao Kakuta versus Rika Tatsumi. I thought this match had a great sense of humor because apparently there were certain moments where, of course, the ref wasn't really keeping count. Basically, there were moments where, of course, Nao Kakuta was her count was very slow, like just one, two. But we did see with Rika Tatsumi, it was faster. But however, the reason is because of that is because Nakukuda accidentally hit the ref, and ref kind of got that. Rika Tatsuma is very predictable. She likes to do dirty things. If you don't believe me, ask what's her name, the ring announcer. She knows what I'm talking about after what she did to her a few years ago. But nonetheless, they forgot one person, and that, of course, Nanaze. She would have been the one obvious choice to pick up the win, but however, that wasn't the case because it was a Dragon Sleeper by Rika Tatsumi that allowed her to win when she tapped, and that was pretty much it. So Rika Tatsumi walked out as the victor. Next match, we have tag team action. We have Toga and Yuki Kamifuku, two of the tallest girls in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. They take on Maki Ito and Uda Takami. So if you guys know this, Uda Takami, she is the newest member of Up Up Girls. I haven't seen her that much wrestle. I mean, I haven't been following that much, but now I'll be able to try. But it was a pretty good match, not gonna lie. But an interesting part, Toga and Kamifuku, they're both almost in the same height. But it did not stop, of course, Maki Ito when she applied the Texas Cloverleaf onto Toga, forcing her to tap. Now, our next match, we have these two girls once again teaming up once again. Pam Harajuku and Raku taking on Shino Suzuki and Mizuki. Of course, we know Mizuki. She is good. She's a former Princess of Princess champion and all this and that. Teaming up with a wrestler who has a bit more less of experience, but she knows what she's doing. Taking on a team that already has established themselves a whole lot, Raku and Pam Harajuku. But, however, it was Raku with the neck breaker onto Shino that allowed her to pick up the win for her and her teammate. Next up, we have a very interesting 6-woman tag match. We have Runa Okubo, Iwamari, and Wakana Uehara. They take on Haru Kazushiro, and of course our current Princess Tag Champions, Daisy Monkey, consistent of Arisu Endo and Zuzumi. Now, I know some of you would think, just by hearing this match, you would think, okay, it would be Kazushino and, of course, Daisy Monkey winning the match. Nope, it wasn't it. We have seen some developments with wrestlers like Iwamari and, of course, Wakana and Runa pick up the pretty good, impressive wins here and there. But it was, in fact, Iwamari who picked up the win when she pinned Kazushiro, and just like that, it was completely over. Now, our next match, we have tag team action. We have Yuki Aino. She teams up with Big Kaiju, Shoko Nakajima, taking on Moka Miyamoto and our current Princess of Princess champion Miyu Watanabe. Now, of course, if either Yuki or Shoko Nakajima were able to pin Miyu Watanabe, they would have put them on a long line of opportunity for a chance of the Princess of Princess title, but that wasn't the case. It was Moka Miyamoto who ended up on the wrong side of a senton by Shoko Nakajima, allowing her and her teammate to pick up the win. So, nothing too significant about this particular event, but it was pretty good. The matches are great, very decent. So, I think that's pretty much it. If I have to rank this one, I'll give it a possibly a 7.5 from there. But that's only just me. Let's move on with our last and final review, and that is Stardom with the All Star Grand Queendom. Okay, All Star Grand Queendom by Stardom. This is one of their biggest events ever. Now, I know some of you may have heard there was supposed to be some English commentary. Yes, but there was some difficulties and they allowed them to have the refund. I did learn that the person who was in fact doing the English commentary is a guy named Stu Fulton. I heard his work before. He does work with Pro Wrestling Noah. He has done work with Stardom before, but that was before he was only obligated to do, of course, Noah. But of course, he works with um, basically there's two different companies how it works, so it would make absolute sense now about that. But it's great that Stu Fulton is in there, and of course he can translate, of course, what goes on when speaking English. But when people speaking English in Japanese, hopefully we get to hear more of him. But we'll see what happens. But right now, let's begin with our this is just recently as well from Saturday, All Star Grand Queendom. Let's begin with the pre-shows. Our first match, we have Rana Yagami of God's Eye taking on Momo Kogos of Stars. Um, Nothing too special about this match, and we know that Momo Kogo doesn't have the necessary experience. But however, Rana Yagami has less of experience, but we cannot deny her striking capabilities. That is something that I often talk about. That possibly landed her to be with God's Eye, but unfortunately, it was Momo Kogo with a suplex. I don't know what kind, but in fact, it did the job for her to pick up a good win. Not the best win, but a good win for her. That's what I'm saying. Now, for our last match in the pre-show, we have Cosmic Angels, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori. They take on a very interesting makeshift team, the rookie Rian, who is currently unaffiliated with any faction, and of course, Lady C of Queen's Quest. Now, for the record here, for all of you that don't know, this is not the first time that Lady C has come across against Yuna Mizumori. That would have been simpler. But however, those who don't know, there was a moment throughout the entire week, Aya Sakura actually did a special training in Tokyo Disneyland. If you guys don't know what she was doing, I'll explain it. Those who know, Lady C knows how to do the giant swing. However, she tried to put herself in one of those teacup rides and hoping that she could withstand it. I don't know if it did the trick, but I'm sure the training was worth it for her. But it was, of course, Mizumori who picked up the win when she applied the TP Sunshine, the tropical sunshine onto Rian that allowed her to pick up a good win. And I'm sure many people are hoping that maybe Mizumori and Sakura could challenge for the new blood tag belts, but we'll see what that leads us from here on out. Now let's begin with the main card of this event. We have the Future of Stardom. This is a belt for the beginner wrestlers. Those who know, if you're below the age of 21, then you guys have the opportunity. However, if you are started wrestling at the age after 21 years old, you only get a 3-year less of experience. We have the newest member of Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurata, who issued a challenge against Rina. Now, Rina, we have seen her become a strong, capable wrestler who is determined to break her sister's record. And of course, Rina has been very impressive. We have seen a lot of improvements from Kurata for a while. I mean, her spears are flawless. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to put away Rina. Rina was able to apply a diving double knee drop onto the abdomen of Kurara, allowing her to pick up the win. And of course, she did a promo. I don't know what she said, but it was later revived when she did this. If you guys want to know what that means, it means she has 8 defenses. She's only 2 defenses away from tying with her sister Hana. So if she beats her record, that means she does it. But the obvious question is who will step up. Rina has been the longest reigning champion for a full year now. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. Now our next match, we have EXV, Empress Nexus Venus, consisting of Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, and Xena taking on God's Eye with Ami Sori, Shuri, and the return of Konami. Of course, everybody would definitely want to have a piece of Konami. Now, those who don't know Konami that well, let me explain a little bit about her. Konami is a disciple of Kana, or as you know her in WWE, Asuka. That's right, she actually learned a lot from her. In Konami, she's an excellent wrestler. Now, she's been out of Stardom since the end of 2021. The reason is due to some health issues, and now that she's back, I feel like she is ready to kick some ass. Yes, pardon my language, that's what I think of her. But however, of course, there were moments you would see that, EXV would definitely want to have a shot at her. And the one person who had dealt with Konami in the past was Waka Tsukiyama. She had dealt with her, but the match ended in a time limit draw, which of course is disappointing. But I like to say that maybe Konami got a little bit of retribution for that match against Waka when she applied an armbar, and boom, just like that, it was completely over. So Waka will probably get her revenge against her, but I don't think she could step up to the same level as Konami. So we'll see. Now, our next match, this is the High Speed Championship. We have Saki Kashima defend her belt against 3 others. We have Fukigen Def, who used to be her tag partner. We have Saya Ida of Stars, and then, of course, Saya Kamitani of Queen's Quest. Now, this was going to be a very difficult thing to watch because we don't know how this thing was going to end. Well, it just ended with, of course, with her Karana by Kamitani onto Fukigen Def, and that allowed her to become our brand new high-speed champion. Very interesting, but I'm sure she'll get some pointers from her teammate from Queen's Quest, Azumi, but we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, we have Natsuko Tora and, of course, Mina Shirakawa. Now, this whole mess began about a while ago because Mina Shirakawa decided to rub it into Natsuko Tora's face, telling her, "Oh, you're jealous because I'm overseas," and she tells her, "Shut up, you foreign obsessed bastard." She doesn't care about the whole foreigner thing. Mina takes it a big deal because A, she can speak English, and B, Mina thinks that she has the entire world in her hands. But the real question is, does she? And that's the various questions. But of course, Natsuko Tora was going to take all her frustrations out. I mean, she did give her the blue mist, but when the referee was pulled and things got out of control. Then when things seems that out of control, we did see that Natsuko Tora was attempting to use her metal pipe onto Mina until we saw unexpectedly Tekla, who stopped her, and then she whacked Mina with the lead pipe. And of course, telling her she's back. She's saying since there's a new era in Stardom, she wants to be part of it, but this time she wants to do it with Stardom. And of course, you probably ask yourselves, why did she whack Mina? Well, there's the easy question. When Tekla made her debut back in early of 2022, Mina Shirakawa had this obsession towards her, tried to convince her to leave DDM and join Cosmic Angels. Now, I'm going to pause a little bit about this history between these two ladies. Have gone back and forth in the past. Now, I think in the story-wise with Mina believes in her mind, now that she speaks English and now that she goes internationally, that she thinks that every wrestler who are foreigner who comes to Stardom are in the same boat as her. But Tekla hates Mina. Not because she hates her because she speaks English. She hates her because she thinks she's full of herself. Tekla is not there to, show her body, be all sexy. She's there to kick ass. And she thinks that, oh, Mina's doing whatever she wants. Now she's going to do that. So, later it was told by Tekla she is now officially the newest member of Oedo Tai, which is going to be interesting. So we'll see where we go from there. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting one. We have Meltier, consistent of Natsupoi and Tam Nakano of the Cosmic Angels. They take on two veterans, Kaoru Itu and Aja Kong. So this was a very interesting challenge for both Meltier because Ito and Kong, they are two big individuals, which is going to be a bit more difficult to take down. Uh, I mean, we know that the heart and determination of both Natsupoi and Tam are, but it was not enough to put down Ito and Kong because it was Kong with a big elbow drop onto the chest of Tam Nakano, and just like that, they won. So that's a pretty good match. I mean, I commend them for doing their best, but it was not enough against two veterans, especially bigger individuals. Now, our next match, we have another title match. This is for the Goddesses of Stardom, the tag belts, in a four-way match. We have team number one, Young Oedo, consistent of Ruka and Starlight Kid, versus 209, consistent of members from Queen's Quest, Miyu Amasaki and Azumi, versus members from Stars, FWC, Koguma, and Azuki, along with the champions, Crazy Stars, Suzuki, and Mei Shida. Now, you would think that this is going to be crazy, that there was going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of things that could happen. However, the one thing that did happen is, of course, we did see a bit of a misfire with Starlight Kid towards Ruka, but it gave Mei Shida the ability to apply her brand new move onto her. And 1, 2, 3, she picked up the win. Now, during the post-match promo, Mei Shida and Zuzu were saying something until FWC were asking for another opportunity in a singles match. And of course, they probably would do it because they're good sports. However, things got a little crazy as soon as that was over. We did see Oedo Tai attacking Starlight Kid. It was insane. And then all of a sudden, Ruka goes out saying, I lost, thanks to you. But we just don't need you anymore. And even Natsuko Tora told her that she is no longer needed anymore. So it was very interesting. But the most interesting thing happened while this beatdown was going. Tam Nakano shows up, rescues and protects, shielding Starlight Kid with the blows. And that kind of went out into a different story-wise what we were expecting. None of us expected this coming from Tam. But there are certain things that does ask the question. What was Tam telling her throughout the year? Did she knew this was going to happen? Because it appears that Natsuko Tora already made a play to get rid of her. I mean, it would make sense, but I mean, if she did, I mean, it's not the first time. She did that with Kashima last year. Was she planning to get rid of Starlight Kid? Who knows? But we'll see where this one leads from here on out. Now, our next match is the IWGP Women's Title. The Sun God herself, Suri, or as we know her, Saray in NXT, takes on the icon Mayu Iwatani. Now, what's interesting about this match, if you guys know this about Suri, Suri was the ace of the promotion in Diana many years ago before she left. Now, some of you may think, why didn't she return to Diana once she wants to give the next generation a chance. So that was the whole point. But it was a much brutal match ever, but at the same time, the most exhilarating. Mayu Iwatani was pushed to the limit and then applied a moonsault, then a dragon suplex, and just like that, she won the match. And of course, Suri probably would like to have another shot at her, but one thing led to another. Is right after it was becoming clear what happened, we saw the arrival of someone. For all you Joshi wrestling fans in general, know who I'm talking about. We're talking about the ace of Ice Ribbon. We're talking about Tsukasa Fujimoto. Now, those who aren't familiarized with her, let me explain. Tsukasa Fujimoto is a veteran in the wrestling world. She was trained by Ami Sakura and a few others. She has won the top belt a few times. She just recently came back from maternity leave. She gave birth to a child last year, and now that she's back. But it's interesting. However, you probably ask yourself what she's there for. Well, as you may or may not know, her best friend, who ironically they're tagged them as best friend, Arisa Nakajima, she's going to retire this coming August. It appears that there were supposed to be a few years back a match between both Mayu Iwatani and her former tag partner, who is not in in Stardom anymore, but currently in WWE. We're talking about Io Sky. Yes, Mayu and Io Sky were tag partners. So, but the real question is, who will be Mayu's tag partner? Well, we know that Shuri wants to beat because she wants to have a little payback against Fujimoto, but we'll see where that leads us from here on out. Now, our next match, this is the semi-main event. We have the white belt, the Wonder of Stardom. Hanan, who won the Cinderella tournament, called her shot against Sayuri Inoue. Now, you would think that many people were hoping that this will be the final opportunity for Hanan to get the shot of this belt. Now, she put everything out into her spirit to try to win this one, but however, the veterancy of Sayuri Inoue with the pottering allowed her to retain the belt. However, she did put out a promo and talk to Hanan, and then all of a sudden we did see Natsupoi. Now, it's no secret that Natsupoi has long and desired for a shot of the white belt. This was something that I think many fans were coming, but however, someone decided to crash the party, and that is member Ami Sourei from God's Eye. I'm sure there's going to be a match between those two who would probably take a shot at her, but we'll see what happens until then. But for now, we'll just leave things like that. But let's move on with our last part of the our last match of the All Star Grand Queendom. We have the World of Stardom, aka the Red Belt, in a two out of three falls. Now, the first fall is a straight up regular match, and then the second fall is a falls count anywhere hardcore match, and then of course last woman standing. Now, I can tell you these matches were extremely brutal, but at the same time, it put Micah into the test because she went through hell. But it was Micah who won. But it was Momo with the first fall. The second fall goes to Micah, and then finally the second goes to Micah. Now, of course, she did say that she was happy for her that she was a great wrestler and all this. I'm sure Momo will love nothing more to get another opportunity against her, but the only time will tell. We'll just wait and see what happens to then. But we still talk about Starlight Kid and Tam. Not gonna know about that a few times. I may do a discussion video regarding about that because there are history between those two, but we'll see how far we can go from that. I think that's pretty much it right now with Stardom. I believe it's time to move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Alrighty then. So, welcome to our news update. So, as for our promotions, we only have one good update for all of you. This is coming from House of Glory for their Cinco de Mayo event. They just announced Dios del Inframundo, formerly known as Dragu, will be making his debut on House of Glory at Cinco de Mayo. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure many of you do too. Now, I want to give congratulations to Yoshi wrestler Momo Tani. Those who don't know her, Momo Tani was originally with the At-Risk Girls promotion until she left by the end of 2021 and made her appearance in Pure J. Those who don't know this, Momo Tani used to be tag partners with Momo Kogo. Yeah, the two Momos were in the same team, but it's great. Momo Tani has announced that she's getting married. Congratulations. And she also stated that she will continue to wrestle in Pure J. I know some of you probably asked, so she's not working in any major promotion. No, I think she probably would want to balance her life out as just focusing on Pure J instead of going to other wrestling match, not to make things complicated in her marriage. But nonetheless, congratulations, Momo Tani. Now, as you know, recently we saw that Red Narita, for a while now, he's been he's underestimating John Moxley because he thinks that he's going to beat him. However, one person is telling him not to take him lightly, and that person is someone who has faced John Moxley before. I'm talking about El Desperado. Now, if you guys remember, Despy was in a match against Moxley about a year or two ago, and it was the most brutal match ever. Now, you would think that Despy is giving him a warning. Well, it's not much of a warning. It's more like, don't underestimate him. And I think he said something. Let me pull that up real quick. I think I saw that somewhere. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, here it is. Found it. I get that as a challenger, it's a pain when the champion is not on our tour. But Narita, your act is lame. I lost my title to your guys before. I wouldn't overlook the House of Torture defenses. Don't come easy. But it's Moxley, you know. So he's telling him, don't take it lightly. Because House of Torture has been known to cheat, to beat up their opponents, making sure the ref doesn't see it. Because Narita thinks that he's going to beat him easily. Despy knows too well what kind of person Moxley is in the ring. So, is he going to take the warning seriously? Hell no, because he is. Yep, he's stupid. Just watch. Now, moving on. Now, the new promotion built by Rasyogawa MARIGOLD has announced there's going to be, of course, a press conference this coming Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to see what's going on. But I did learn that this had something to do with the full card for their first official show that will take place on May 20th. We do know that one match has been announced. It's a tag match between Julia and Suri. Now, they're yet to announce their tag partners. I'm sure we will see that along the way. Now, as you know, I mentioned this on the last episode on the news updates section that Drew McIntyre is now officially re-signed with WWE. Now, we did learn a little bit of information that his contract with WWE is up to 3 years. So, good for him. Don't ask me how much they're paying him. I don't even want to know. But yes. Now, former AEW talent and a friend of Sammy Guevara has went on to on his X account and talked about a disaster that took place in his home state of Oklahoma, and he put this out to make sure not people to be worried too much. Let me pull that up. Okay, this is what he says. The town I live in, Sulphur, Oklahoma, was hit by 2 back-to-back devastating tornadoes last night. It destroyed the gym I go to, houses, restaurants, gas stations, and most of downtown Sulphur. Thankfully, it missed my house, but last night was one of the scariest of my life. I mean, I wouldn't live in a place like that near a tornado. But of course, the Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer replied, gave him a comment saying, "Glad to hear you're okay, man. Prayers for those that are not." It's a good thing that someone is telling him that everything's okay for now. But yes, um, Roxanne Perez just made this very interesting thing. She said she wants to have AJ Lee for one last fight. We haven't seen her wrestle for quite some time, and I think it would be interesting to see her. So we'll see what happens. Ice Ribbon has announced that this coming Friday, as you know, with Arisa Nakajima retiring, I think, hold on, let me pull it up. I think Scott Edwards talked about that recently. Yeah. They said that this Friday, Fujimoto and Nakajima will be in action to take on Yuki Mashido and Makoto. So it's great. Hopefully I get to see it, but we'll see from here on out. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for our news updates. Or I believe it's time to call it a day. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Before I tell you guys what the plan for the next episode goes, let me tell you guys, I never would have imagined I gone this far in this channel, reaching episode 1400. I can still remember when I started this. We normally would do this once a week, and things had to change because my co-host Nico, who I say I owed a lot to, and I was thankful for him to be my friend and someone who loves pro wrestling like I do. He even taught me a few things when it comes to, the setting of the camera angle, the lighting, the sound. I learned a bit from him. I was thankful to him, and of course, was very saddened that he was unable to participate with me afterwards. He actually took a job as a chef. Uh, I don't hold any problems with them, but I understand that he loves to cook. Not gonna lie about that. Um, but for all of you who probably ask, what happened to him? Where is he now? Well, those who don't know, Nico is now a pro wrestler. Yes, Nico has started pro wrestling a few years back. He learned from the dojo from a local place here called Fist Combat. But due to circumstances surrounding the owner, he made the choice to leave. This was a recommendation by AJ Gray to go to Level Up and all that. So he has grown so much, and he dubbed himself as Sad Boy. I do keep in contact with him, but I keep updates on things on going on the channel. Not to mention how many subscribers I get. But I also want to thank you guys, of course, for sticking around. I know I had people that, how do I say, think that I don't have proper ways. I did had a guy who did tell me that I need a green screen in the back. I'm not trying to be too fancy, guys. I'm not like that. I just like to give out great reviews and updates and whatever I can do on this channel for you guys. But we'll see where we go from here on out. So hopefully when we reach 1500, we'll see how the special occasion will be. But as of right now, I say we'll leave things like that. And as for our next episode, well, I decided we do have New Japan coming up and all this other stuff. I'm thinking about, you know what? Let's do everything all Japanese wrestling. I think many of you probably would like that more often. So let's focus on that. So as of right now, let's just end things as it is. And I will see you guys on the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.